Let's get started. Number 10. Your brain can literally forget your mom's face for a few seconds. Imagine you're staring at your mom. You know her, you love her. She gave you life and possibly also your caffeine addiction. But then, for about 4 seconds, your brain looks at her and goes, "Who is this woman?" Congratulations, you've just had face blindness light, aka transient prosopagnosia. No, it's not just you being a distracted disappointment. This happens because your brain's fusiform face area, the part dedicated to facial recognition, just briefly blinks, like a light bulb flickering before a blackout. You're looking right at someone you know, but your neurons are pulling a file not found error like a Windows 98 startup disk. It's not memory loss. You still know who she is. But for a few heart-stopping moments, it feels like you're watching a stranger steal your mom's haircut and stare into your soul. Why does this happen? No one knows for sure. Some scientists think it's your brain buffering, like a bad internet connection in the skull. Others think it's a subtle version of derealization, when your mind momentarily disconnects from reality and forgets how human faces are supposed to face. And it's not even rare. A lot of people have experienced it and just brushed it off like a sleep-deprived fever dream. So if your mom ever gives you that, "Why are you looking at me like I'm a mailbox" glare, you're not being creepy. Your brain just did a soft reboot.
Number 9. The monastery that couldn't stop meowing. In 15th century France, a convent full of nuns started meowing. Yes, like cats, loudly, all day, in unison. Now, before you picture a feline-themed flash mob in medieval robes, this wasn't a joke. It was a psychological wildfire, and no one could put it out. These weren't a few giggles during prayer time. This was full-on, coordinated, ritual-level yowling. The villagers were understandably horrified. Authorities were called. Soldiers threatened to whip the nuns back to sanity. And then, poof, it stopped. What even was that? Answer: mass psychogenic illness. Or, as scientists like to call it, wait, what the hell just happened? It's a real, documented phenomenon where groups of people unconsciously start mimicking strange behaviors, tics, convulsions, or, in this case, meows, often triggered by stress, isolation, or chronic fear. You know, convent vibes. And it wasn't a one-time thing. Similar outbreaks have happened in Germany, the Netherlands, even in modern classrooms where kids all start fainting or twitching with no medical cause. Some researchers think it's subconscious social mimicry turned mutant. Our brains copy others to bond, and sometimes that instinct goes haywire. What starts as one weird twitch becomes a group routine, like a deeply disturbing flash mob choreographed by the reptilian brain.
Number 8. Why you remember things that never happened. Raise your hand if you remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 80s. Okay, put your hand down. You're not alone. Millions of people share that memory. Now here's the twist. Mandela didn't die in prison. He got out. He lived. He even became president. So why do so many people remember the wrong version? Welcome to the Mandela effect, a mass false memory phenomenon where large groups of people confidently remember something that never happened. Other classics? Did the Monopoly man ever wear a monocle? No. Is it spelled Berenstein Bears or Berenstein Bears? It's Stain. Sorry to your childhood. What's going on here? One theory: your brain is a prediction machine, not a camera. It doesn't store reality, it reconstructs it like a crime scene artist on Ambien. So when memory and expectation clash, your brain just says, "Yeah, this feels true. Good enough." Multiply that by the internet, and boom, collective memory glitches go viral. It's not proof of parallel universes, it's proof that your brain would be a terrible courtroom witness. Here's the real kicker. Memory isn't even meant to be accurate. It's meant to be useful. And sometimes useful means close enough. So no, you're not in the wrong timeline. Your brain is just really, really confident. And frequently wrong.
Number 7. Why do you hate your own voice? It's not just cringe, it's biological treason. You hear your voice on a recording and think, who is this nasal goblin and why is it pretending to be me? Fun fact, that's actually what everyone else hears all the time. You've just been living in a carefully engineered audio lie. Here's why. When you speak, your voice reaches your inner ear in two ways: through the air, like everyone else hears it, and through bone conduction, where vibrations travel through your skull and make your voice sound deeper, smoother, and about 27% more James Earl Jones. Basically, you hear the deluxe remix of your voice. The rest of us, we get the rough demo. Now, when you hear a recording, you're hearing your voice the way it actually sounds from the outside. No skull bass boost, no sonic self-hug, just raw, unfiltered you. And your brain revolts. This is called voice confrontation, a real psychological phenomenon where people experience mild shock, disgust, or even existential dread upon hearing their real voice. It's like your auditory ego just got pantsed in public. And there's another layer of betrayal. Your voice doesn't just sound different, it feels different, emotionally, because your voice is wrapped up in identity. When it doesn't match your internal model of me, the dissonance hits like an off-key karaoke solo from the soul. So no, you're not being dramatic. Your brain just got caught lip-syncing to a version of you that never existed.
Number 5. Why do we dream of being chased, but never about paying rent? Let's face it, your real-life anxiety looks like a 5-tab spreadsheet, 3 missed deadlines, and an unread email with the subject line, "Urgent, final notice." But in your dreams, you're barefoot in a forest, being chased by a faceless ex wearing a clown mask. Classic. So why doesn't your brain dream about actual stressors, like bills or taxes, or having to call someone on the phone? Because your dream brain is basically an improv actor who only works in metaphors and unresolved trauma. The limbic system, particularly the amygdala, lights up like a Christmas tree during REM sleep. That's the part responsible for emotion, especially fear. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex, the logic and reason part that says you have to email Susan by 5 p.m., takes a nap during your nap. This is why your dreams are emotionally intense, but narratively chaotic. Your unconscious mind doesn't care about your lease agreement. It cares that you feel cornered, trapped, pursued. So it gives you a bear or your old gym teacher with laser eyes. Plus, your brain evolved in a time when danger meant predators, not parking tickets. The survival software is still using those old fear templates like it's stuck in Paleolithic Photoshop. And that's why your brain never dreams about Venmo requests or expired coupons. It dreams about symbolic doom because that's what it was built to understand. So next time you're being chased by a lava monster through your high school gym, just remember, it probably means you forgot to respond to a text.
Number 4. The people who literally feel your pain. You wince as someone stubs their toe on a chair leg, but the person next to you, they double over in agony like they were the one who got kicked by God. Say hello to mirror touch synesthesia, a rare condition where people actually physically feel what they see others experience. It's like having your empathy turned up to 11 and hot-wired into your nervous system. If someone gets slapped, they don't just flinch. They feel the slap on their own face. This isn't metaphorical. fMRI scans show that the somatosensory cortex, the
the brain's touch map activates in these people as if they were touched themselves. It's caused by an overactive mirror neuron system, the same system that helps you yawn when someone else yawns, or cry during Pixar movies. But in these rare cases, the empathy circuitry is so wired, it skips the emotional middleman and jumps straight to physical sensation. Sounds superhuman? It's also exhausting. Imagine walking through life feeling every paper cut, stubbed toe, and awkward hug as if it happened to you. And the weirdest part? Most people with this condition didn't know it was unusual until someone told them, "Wait, you actually feel that?" They thought everyone did. So yes, some people can literally feel your pain. But don't abuse this power. Don't go around pinching yourself to test them. That's not science. That's assault with extra steps.
Number 3. The phantom phone vibration syndrome, aka your pocket is lying to you. You feel it, buzz, that little zap in your pocket, a notification, a message, a life update. You grab your phone. Nothing. You just hallucinated a buzz. Welcome to phantom vibration syndrome, where your brain decides to invent phone notifications like a needy ex who misses attention. It's not a psychiatric disorder, but it's a documented psychological phenomenon experienced by up to 90% of smartphone users, especially those under high stress. Which, let's be real, is everyone with a job, a deadline, or a group chat. Here's the science. Your brain has a predictive loop, a kind of internal model that constantly guesses what's about to happen. When you're hyper-attuned to incoming texts, emails, or that one Tinder match who ghosted you, your nervous system becomes primed to expect feedback. So, your brain starts mistaking muscle twitches, shifts in clothing, or random skin sensations for vibrations. It fills in the blanks the same way it might hear your name in a crowd or think someone's watching you when they're not, which they probably are. This is the internet. In short, you're so desperate for connection, your brain makes up a notification to keep you company. And we wonder why we're all anxious. The worst part is we now trust the lie. We check our phones reflexively even after learning there was no buzz. So no, you're not going crazy. You're just a human being in the 21st century with a brain that confuses dopamine cravings with actual stimuli. Your pocket didn't vibrate, your brain did.
Number 2. The mimicry epidemic, when entire towns started collapsing like dominoes. In 1962, at a school in Tanganyika, now Tanzania, 3 girls started laughing during class. It wasn't cute. It didn't stop. It spread. Hundreds of students across multiple villages began laughing, sobbing, collapsing, twitching, and skipping class like the apocalypse had a sense of humor. This wasn't demonic possession or K-pop hysteria. It was a real outbreak of mass psychogenic illness, again. Also called mass hysteria, it's like a social virus that spreads through the nervous system instead of the bloodstream. People see others acting strange, and their brains say, well, guess we're doing this now. In Tanganyika, the laughing epidemic lasted for months, disrupted 14 schools, and couldn't be stopped by doctors, priests, or logical reasoning. And it's not ancient history. In 2006, a school in Portugal was shut down after dozens of students started experiencing rashes, dizziness, and nausea, symptoms never explained. The cause? Likely a TV show and a hyperactive mirror neuron system. This stuff happens when stress, fear, and social mimicry mix into a psychological Molotov cocktail. And the truth is, no one is immune. Your brain is built to sync with others, to laugh, cry, or panic in crowds. It's empathy, yes, but sometimes empathy runs amok, turns feral, and starts biting itself. So if you've ever giggled just because someone else did, congratulations. You've taken your first step toward joining a full-blown psychological flash mob.
Number 1, you are not the one controlling your thoughts. Your brain just lets you think you are. Here's a spicy little existential meatball. You're not driving this thing. Your brain is. You? You're more like the passenger who keeps touching the radio and calling it navigation. Let me explain. Every day, thoughts just appear in your head. Uninvited, mid-shower, mid-conversation, sometimes mid-funeral. You didn't schedule them. You didn't request them. They just show up, like pizza ads in your dreams. This is known in neuroscience as the illusion of conscious will, the idea that your brain decides what you think before you do, by a few milliseconds or even longer. In a famous experiment, neuroscientist Benjamin Libet discovered that brain activity predicting a decision appears before a person becomes aware of making that decision. Translation: your brain acts first and then invents a story about how you chose it. Think of it like this. Your conscious mind is a press secretary, not the president. It doesn't make policies. It just explains them to the public. What feels like free will might actually be your brain doing some behind-the-scenes calculations based on habits, mood, gut bacteria, moon phases, who knows, and then politely pretending you were in charge the whole time. Why does it do this? Probably to keep you sane. If you knew your own brain was making decisions like a rogue AI fueled by sleep deprivation and childhood memories, you might stop trusting yourself entirely. But here's the kicker. Even if you're not in full control, your perception of control still shapes your behavior. So maybe the illusion is the point. Maybe the brain figured out that feeling like a conscious being is more important than being one. Let that one marinate. You're not your thoughts. You're just the poor soul watching them go by and occasionally yelling, "I meant to do that." That's it for today. I'll be doing similar videos in the future. So if you want more weird science, brain bugs, and philosophical panic attacks, make sure to subscribe to see more.